we are already connected to YouTube. We've had comments come in from for the last several minutes. So hello, everybody. It's great to see you. And we're just waiting to get connected to Facebook. And then we are ready to get started. So as always, just doing a little bit of a check here to make sure we're as good as it gets. Oh, hello, everyone. Yeah, there's our Facebook family joining us there. We've got folks coming in from everywhere as usual, and lots of recognizable names, familiar names. So I love seeing that. Facebook is on. Yes, indeed, it is. Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Hello. I see lots of comments about the weather. It is definitely, warm where I am. We've got a little bit of a cooler day today, but I am Noreen Smith. If we haven't already met before, I am the Product Development Creative Manager for Creative Memories, and I get to be with you each and every Wednesday to make some fast and fun projects. So, hello, North Dakota. Jean saying it's 100 degrees. I know it's crazy out there. We were at 34 degrees Celsius here in Calgary, which is unusual. And it's warm. So hope everybody is staying well, staying hydrated, doing what you need to stay cool and comfortable in this hot world these days, I tell you. Hello, everybody. It's great to see you. We've got folks joining us from all across the U.S. I see lots of our friends from Australia and a few Canucks up here in the Great White North with me. So yes, Dawn is saying it definitely is a sizzling summer. When we named our set of challenges, we definitely did not know that it was going to be a literal description of what the summer was going to bring for many parts of the world. Yeah, it's crazy. 104 in California. Yeah, I know. Well, like I said, I hope that you're doing well. I hope it's giving you an excuse to hopefully stay inside, maybe down in the basement where it's cool, or if you've got air conditioning or some fans set up, you're drinking lots of water, staying hydrated, and doing our Sizzlin Summer challenges. And haven't we been having a good time? I can't believe we're already on to number 4 today. It's been really fun, and I am so thrilled to see so many people participating. So before we get going, let's just have a look. Just a reminder that last week, Sizzlin Summer number 3 challenge was Christmas in July. We had some screaming fast and fun deals on Christmas in July bundles, seasonal sightings, and joy to the world. And our winners from our challenge are Amanda Nevin and Shelly Menzoff. So congratulations, ladies. So happy that you were able to participate. We loved seeing your layouts. We loved seeing your take on the sketch and so many different kinds of Christmas products that were used. I saw, ones from Old Co Creative Memories. Other companies were snuck in there as well, which was great to see. Some of our recent, like Seasonal Sightings and Joy to the World, and other CM collections, Christmas collections from previous years. So it was great. It was so much fun to see it. And awesome interpretations of the sketch. We saw some crazy squares, so people, not cutting the squares into the triangles, but into different shapes. We saw it on 2-page spreads. We saw it on single-page spreads, top, bottom, middle, center, all different kinds of interpretations. So it was really great. So Amanda and Shelly, you will be wanting to check your inbox for an email from home office. Probably Nicole or Sonia will be reaching out to you to set up your prize. And again, you get to choose from Seasonal Sightings bundle or a Joy to the World bundle. So enjoy that. And thanks so much for participating. I did just want to say a couple of words about the challenge, because I know that there was some discussion about, well, what if you don't celebrate Christmas? And perhaps, that was a bit of a sticking point for some people. It certainly was not intended to be. We're just kind of jumping on the Christmas in July sort of theme that happens in many other, industries, scrapbook, paper crafting. And we just wanted to celebrate that sort of half year in between. So really, it certainly wasn't meant to exclude everyone. We always try to offer a wide range of challenges so that everybody can, have some fun with it. And again, if there's any challenges throughout the summer that, you're not comfortable with, or you don't have photos, you don't have products, whatever the case may be, please feel free to, adapt and change it to suit what you are working on. And definitely count it for your Sizzlin Summer challenge coloring sheet, right? Even if you didn't necessarily do Christmas or use the sketch, definitely count it. But for the challenge winners each week, we definitely stay with as true to the challenge as we can. Okay, so again, hopefully that's good with everybody, and we can move on and think about adapting each challenge to your needs, but staying within the parameters of the challenge. Okay, so hopefully that explains a little bit there about that. So again, congratulations, Amanda and Shelley, and let's get going. Now, this week, you might have already seen in the description, we are going round and round. We are going to talk about circles. And I think that circles are one of the most underrated sort of shapes or tools in scrapbooking and paper crafting. It feels like it's such a basic shape. Many times we'll just kind of skip over it. But why are we going to talk about circles today? Well, circles are just a great basic shape. They are so much fun to use. They're so much fun to work with. And of course, we at Creative Memories have so many options for you to create circles easily, right? Circles are, again, a basic shape, but they're kind of hard to, freehand draw and cut. So we've got things like the circle cutter, the circle punch. We've got our custom cutting system, circle patterns and templates, and we even have recipe templates that feature circles. So you're going to find lots and lots of different tools that you can use to make the circles this week. And our challenge is going to be to use at least five circles of various sizes on your layout. So I'm going to give you some design tips today. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. We're actually going to kind of recreate the two sample layouts that I have to show you today. So again, jumping ahead to those of you who, want to be clear on the challenge, you can use anything to make your circles. Your challenge is going to be incorporating at least five. Any theme, any products, at least 5 circles. Okay? So that's the challenge, and I will remind you of it when we get to the end. So let me flip you over to my table here, and many of you will recognize what I've got here. Our fabulous circle punch, our fabulous circle cutter, and our fabulous welcome home. Now, why did I choose to use welcome home this week? Well, I don't know if any of you guys have been looking on the deals part of our website, but the welcome home collection is actually on sale this month, along with seaside and wide open spaces. So it's besides our fast and fun deals, which I'll tell you about at the end of today's episode, don't forget to look in the deals or the sales section so that you can maybe pick up items to, maybe you had welcome home, but you need a few more stickers, they're on sale, the embellishments, the laser cuts, the matte pack, the paper. So you can, stock up on anything you need to kind of round out your collection. Or if this is the very first time you're seeing welcome home, definitely take a look because it's one of my favorite collections. Love the muted colors here, and definitely we are loving kind of revisiting some of our products that, that we've kind of forgotten about. We are so good at bringing out new products, every couple of weeks that we tend to kind of forget about some of the gems that are still in inventory. So welcome home is what we're going to work with today. And I'm going to focus on the circle cutter, and the circle punch. And because I've got my 13 by 13 inch mat here and the circle cutter, I might as well tell you that the screaming deal for our fast and fun deals this week is an awesome price on the circle cutter and a 13 by 13 inch cutting mat. So you'll want to go to the website for your country. It's up on the website now. You can definitely shop now. Don't forget that there's the sale items, the fast and fun deal, and of course those are going, the fast and fun deals are only until Friday at noon. So you'll want to take advantage of it by that, or by then, sorry. And don't forget too that the You Pick It bundles end Friday at noon. So again, maybe a few things that you want to pick up and use towards earning your free You Pick It bundle. Okay, so yes, we're going to use these two. Don't forget, as I mentioned, you can also use your custom cutting system circles, the jumbo circle, and the circles recipe template. So that's a beautiful one as well. I don't have it with me, but you'll see that that is actually going to be one of our prizes, prize choices this particular week. So for Sizzling Summer number 4, you can choose between the circle cutter and 13 by 13 inch mat, or you can choose a circle punch and the circle lattice recipe template. So those are going to be your 2 choices for prizes this week if you are the lucky one. So let's get right into it. Welcome home paper. Let me show you our first kind of example of using a variety of circles. And I love this because it allows me to teach you a couple of different things from a design perspective. It allows me to review the circle cutter and how to use it, not only to cut, but I think you can probably see that you can also draw with the circle cutter. And that's one of the reasons I really, really love this tool. I love my CCS, right? I love that and I pull it out often. But I love the fact that I can draw and cut with this one. And then our circle punch is 1 3/4 inches, 1.75 inches, and it is definitely a must-have as well. So here I've got a few different types of circles here. I've got some half circles, I've got some big circles, some small circles. You can see the white circles here. Those are meant to be, and let me just jot that down, those are meant to be 4-inch photos. Okay, so I've cut some of my photos into circles, I've got them matted, and then I have these lovely layers of circles. And I want you to notice a couple of things about these circles. Now, if you joined me for the secret box a couple weeks ago when we had our secret box opening and virtual crop, we had a great layout with the circle right in the middle. But here we have lots of movement using the circles. It's really the only shape, it's the main shape that we've got going on here. But I want you to notice kind of we've got a cluster of circles here, a cluster of circles up here, and a cluster of circles down here. So really we've got that kind of triangle happening. Again, 3s are always a great number to work with because it's visually interesting, and again, it bounces the eye around the page. But these circles in the back, they act as connectors. So you can see that each circle, whether it's a photo, a little, small circle as an embellishment, they all connect because they either touch each other, they touch one of the drawn circles or one of the cut circles. So we're going to recreate this layout in just a minute. Let me show you the second one we're going to do because not everybody likes to work with circles for their photos. Not everybody likes to cut their photos into circles. So I've got another layout here, a little bit different, a little bit more simple, no drawing, but we've just got 3 regular standard photos, 4x4, 4x6, 6x4. Okay, so we're going to make both of these. And you can see in this one, again, we kind of have 3. We have 3 different sort of areas where we've got circles. And again, we're connecting things. So this photo is connected up here, connects down here, connects through here, connects over here. So again, it creates that flow around the page. It creates some movement to help the eye follow the page. So when you're working with your circles this week, that's kind of the lesson or the design principle I want you to think about is connection and movement. Okay? So we're going to make both of these. So let me put this one aside. And I hope I don't have as much coughing as we had last week. I am feeling a lot better. Thank you all for your lovely well wishes of getting better. But I may have the odd cough and this week. So let's get started by, first of all, drawing some circles on our page. And let me see, where did I put my, sorry, I have all my papers that I'm going to be using. Just had them all piled up. So I'm going to be using this kind of neutral speckled background. You can see here that I'm using the brown dual tip pen on this speckled background. So we're going to do the same over here. Let me grab a brown pen. And the circle cutter will work with the fine tip end of your dual tip pen. So you see fine tip and then the bold tip. And if you didn't know, this is the little pen holder. Okay, so we're going to draw and we're going to cut. So first off, let's figure out how we measure or how we set up cutting drawing our circles. And on this side where you can see black and white measurements, you might notice when you look closely, there's a little pen on this side and a little blade on this side. So the white markings along the bottom work with the blade, and those are your cutting measurements. The black measurements at the top work with the pen, and those are your drawing measurements. Okay, on the other side, we just have cutting measurements, and they are in centimeters. So this side has both cutting and drawing and in inches. Okay, so what I'd like to do is first of all draw a large circle, maybe about 8 inches. And if you notice, it goes right off the page. It's part of it's covered here, but it's going to go right off the page. So we're going to draw it down in this area. And then I'm going to draw another circle that's going to overlap it, and it's going to be 6 inches. So let's set our first one. Again, we're using the black lines and black numbers. So I'm going to move the dome here. Just going to slide it along until the black line matches up with 8. Okay, so just move it along. And I know it may not show exactly for you guys on camera, but hopefully you can see that that's at the 8 mark there. And then I'm just going to tighten that in place by twisting the white screw cap there. Now this part here, the bottom of the dome, that's what's going to anchor the circle cutter to your paper, to your tabletop, to your paper. If you just put it down here, it's going to move all around. But once you press down on the dome, that will kind of act like a compass that we used to, measure and use in math class. So that's what we need to make sure we do. We're going to hold down that dome. If we're going to cut, we're going to reach over and press the little white button in to have the blade. But if we're going to draw, we're going to take our fine tip pen and insert it just into the hole. Okay, so insert it in, and the pen nib is going to just pop out of the bottom there. All right, so I'm just going to use the back of my challenge sheet here as a little bit of scrap paper. I've set it for 8, and I'm just going to turn it this way because that's sort of the way I think. So I'm going to have either the blade or the pen over on this side, and I'm just going to do kind of a test before I actually draw. And if I place it there, I can see where it's going to go off the page. So I'm just kind of moving it around to see, and I think that's good. I'm just going to move it down just a bit, just testing No pen, no cutting, just testing. So now I'll go ahead and put my pen back in. And if you were, again, with me with the secret box, I gave you my over-under technique, which I think is the easiest way to create a drawn circle or a cut circle in one fell swoop, one motion. Sometimes if you stop and then try to continue, you might get that jagged edge or the jagged line. So I like to use my non-dominant hand. I'm right-handed. So I'm going to take my left hand, put it on the dome, and press down. Then I'm going to reach over and I'm going to press down on the pen. I'm going to start drawing. It's going to go right off the page. And then I'm going to lift up my left arm and I'm going to come under until I match up and finish off my drawing. Okay, so I got a great circle there. And again, that was the over under technique. I'm going to do it again. Let's do another circle up here. Draw another circle, and we're going to move it to 6 inches. So there's my 6. Again, I'm looking at the black measurements. Okay, so I've recalibrated it so that the black line is on the 6. Again, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of a test run. And I want this to overlap because, again, I want things to connect. So I'm going to place the dome about very close to, kind of the edge of the circle, maybe up a little bit. And again, let's just kind of do a twist. I like it a little bit further down, I think. Yeah, I think that will be good. So let's move it over just a little bit there. Yeah, and that'll take up a good amount of space over here. So I'm going to put that there, put my pen in. Left hand for me, my non-dominant hand, over top, press down on the pen, and then I'm going to come up and underneath. Okay, just go slow. Be careful. You can see there's a little dot there where I kind of, pressed maybe a little bit extra at the end, but looks good. So you could even do another one there and kind of have this diagonal of circles. But that's really all I have in the background. It's just enough so that when I put a circle here, another circle here, and a circle up here, it will all connect. Okay, so you can see that I have a large blue circle here, and that measurement is about 7 inches. So I'm going to cut this time, I'm going to cut it from this dark brown. So now we're going to go back to our cutting measurements, which are the white measurements. There's 7 right there. Okay. And again, I can do the same thing. I can do a little bit of a test. Now, when we were doing, when we were doing the center circle, we talked about putting our paper in the center of our 13 by 13 inch cutting mat, drawing a couple of guidelines vertically and horizontally at 6, and then using the lines on either side of the dome and the channel that's in the middle to kind of center our circle. You can definitely do that, but I'm going to be using this paper for to cut other circles as well. So I'm just going to kind of start up in the top corner. And again, just like we did kind of a test down here, I can do a test up here as well. So I'm thinking that about there looks good. I'm not pressing the blade. Oh, see, I would go right off the page. So I got to come down a little bit more. And that looks like I will have a good circle. Okay, so just like for our pen, my non-dominant hand on the dome, reaching over top, I'm going to press in the little white button or lever, and I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to come underneath. So I started over, came under. And that gives me a very, very clean circle with one swoop. Very easy. Now you can see that I've kind of divided my circle. So I'm going to take one of my only cuts that I have to do besides cutting my circles. I'm going to cut this at about 2.5 inches. So I'm going to put the edge of the circle at about 2.5, and I'm just going to cut. If you ever need to cut a circle in half, my little trick for that is to place the circle right up top so that it touches the two manufacturing sort of lips or ledges there. And that is equidistant from the cutting line. So if you place your circle right at the top and cut down, you can always get a perfect half circle, perfect semicircle. But I'm going to go, as I mentioned, at about 2.5. And now I've got my two pieces to add to my layout. Just going to get a little bit of repositionable adhesive here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to place the larger side about, maybe an inch, maybe 1.5 inches down. So you can see that my large semicircle or portion of a circle definitely overlaps the 6-inch circle. And then I'm going to take my smaller circle here, and I'm just going to, maybe again put it about an inch up. And that's going to touch the larger circle. Now, I've got 3 photos on here, so let's go ahead and kind of map out where we want to put our photos. And I think I'm going to have to place or cut one more. So I've cut a green paper that has some beige and brown, and I've cut a beige paper. I think I'd like to cut one more green. And if my photos are 4 inches, I'm going to make my photo mats 4.5. Now, when you look at the measurements here, you'll see that it's not in 1/4 inches, 1/2 inches, 1/8 inches, that kind of thing. Each space between the measurements is divided into 5. So here I'm just going to place it, kind of right in between the 4. There's 4. See, I can't even think of what the measurements would be called. Are those 1/5, 4 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5? I think that's how it goes. So I'm going to put it between the 2/5 and 3/5 measurements. So I hope you can see that it's right in between the 2 center dashes. Okay, I'm not a mathematician. All I do is scrapbooker math, so I'm not 100% sure of how to actually say that. So if I was wrong, apologies, but we're making it as close to 4.5 inches as we can. So again, just kind of doing a little bit of a test here, making sure I'll get it all on. Left hand, over, under. So it's so fast. All right, so now I'm going to place my photos so that they're touching the 2 large circles that I've already created. So I'm going to put it about there. And I'm going to put one down here. Then I'm going to put one up here. And again, I'm not just kind of floating it up here in the middle. I want to make sure that it's overlapping and touching either another circle or one of my circle lines. Okay, and there's my 3 photos. Did I cut 3? I did. Look at how prepared I was today. Okay, so now we're starting to see those kind of 3 different little areas. So here I have dark brown and the green, dark brown and the green. Here I have beige. In each of these areas, I want to add the other 2 colors so that it repeats throughout. So I've gone ahead and I have cut a couple of smaller circles. These are 3 inches. So I've cut a beige one. I'm going to add that kind of in there. So now I have brown, beige, and green. I'm going to add a green one. I'll flip it over there. Up top here so that I've got beige and green. And I think I'm going to need a little small brown one there in a minute. So I'm going to do that. So I definitely need one more down here. I'm going to need another beige, and I'm going to need a 3-inch size. Again, a little bit smaller. So let's go and do a 3-inch size. And the circle cutter will cut from 3 inches all the way up to 11 3/4. So even though there's a number 12 there, it won't slide completely to the 12. So it's just under 12. So I'm going to basically slide it as far as it'll go this way, tighten it down. And I have to say that the closer the dome is to the blade or to the pen, the trickier it does get, just because your hand seems to get in the way no matter how good you are at cutting. So I'm at 3. I'm just going to do a little chest. Yeah, I got lots of room there. So left hand, reach over, and I'm just going to have to kind of twist my hand around and reposition how I'm holding the blade. But there we go. Even with that little adjustment, it's still such a perfect and easy circle. Okay, so now I'm going to just tuck this beige one down in here. Okay, so that's pretty much the same kind of arrangement I have here. And you'll notice that I have made this small 3-inch circle and this small 3-inch circle purposefully hang off the edge of the page. And again, it's just a little design trick that it creates a sense of movement, and it creates a sense of almost, you know, an infinite type of look here, because our large circles are going off the page. So we also want anything that's touching the edges to go off the page as well. All right, so we've got brown, green, and beige in these 2 areas. As I mentioned, I just need another little bit of brown. So I'm just going to punch one circle from that same brown paper. And again, super, super easy. And this time I'm going to overlap it kind of on top, because I think that's going to be a perfect little place for a little embellishment. Okay, so that's my same layout there. 2 drawn circles. You can see when I drew it here, I didn't get it quite as high. 1 large circle that's been cut into 2 pieces and put at opposite sides, again, kind of in a diagonal. And then my 3 sort of spots with photos and other circles. Then I can go ahead after I glue it down, and I've just kind of added my embellishments in each of those little intersecting kind of locations. So they kind of overlap some of the circles, they overlap the photos a little bit. And again, I've just tried to repeat the same colors. So I've got blue and green with a little bit of beige and brown, blue and green with a little bit of beige and brown, blue and green with a little bit of beige and brown. Okay, so that's a really fun way to kind of create that sense of movement, and it kind of goes from that top corner down to the bottom, but also has some movement off in that direction. So that's an easy one to redo. Again, this was an 8-inch circle and a 6-inch circle that we drew, 7-inch circle that we cut, 4.5-inch circles for the photo mats, 3-inch circles to kind of accent, and then our little 1.25-inch circle, that we punched as an accent. Okay, so that is definitely one that you can copy if you like. Really easy to do. Just make sure you kind of start with your drawing and then layer up from that. Okay, let's do the other one now. So as I mentioned, if you are not keen on cutting your photos into circles, here's one where it's really going to be quick because you don't have to do any photo cutting. So again, I'm just going to add, I'm throwing my papers around here. I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive. I have this kind of nice sort of lattice background here. A little bit more color in this one than this background, but I was running out of paper, so I don't have that one to play with exactly. So I have cut a few circles already. We're going to cut a big circle from my navy, okay, one of the navy papers. And then I've gone ahead and I've cut some other circles from a pale green and some scraps of blue. So I'll talk about the sizes there in a minute. And then I have a 4x4, a 4x6, and a 6x4 photo. So let's go ahead and cut this one. This one I'm going to make just slightly bigger. I'm going to make this one an 8-inch circle. So let's go ahead and do that. What I love about the custom cutting system is it's perfect for when you're layering. What I love about the circle cutter is, again, not only can it draw, but it's really fast to change your sizes. I don't have to kind of refer to my my templates and figure out which blade do I need to use, inside track, outside track, etc. So this is so fast to use if you're just creating a bunch of different sizes of circles. So again, I've got my 8 with the white measurements, which are the cutting measurements. Move the black line there. 0.2 inch increments. Thank you, Joy. 0.2 inch. Okay, so again, they're not a 1/4 inch, 0.2 inch. So I think you say 1/5. I'm pretty sure that's what you would say if you were trying to describe it. Okay, so again, just do a little bit of a test. No pen, no blade down. Yep, that will work. So push on the dome, reach over top, over and under. Okay, let me get that out of the way. And let's cut this one at about 3 inches. I want just a little bit more because as you can see, I'm going to use the top part of my circle here for a title. I could cut it down through here. I always like to have some variations with the line, so I'm going to cut through my lines, and I'm just going to put the edge of the circle at 3. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down at the bottom, again, maybe about 1/2 inch in. This one up at the top, about 1/2 inch from the edge. So anytime you go off the page, whether it's with circles or squares, any kind of shape, again, that automatically creates a sense of movement because the eye starts to move between the two and see what was over here. You know, it's a natural response to try and kind of connect what would also have been up here. So it definitely starts the movement. So that's really fast. I've got that's the same one there. This is a 4.5 inch circle. So I'm just going to kind of overlap that here. Then I've got a couple of 3 inch circles. So one's going to kind of go over here to kind of connect the photos, but one I'm going to layer on top here. So again, I have this nice sort of cluster of circles. And then I'm going to use 2 of the punched circles just right on here. One's going to go off the top edge, just to kind of give a little bit of color up there. And then one is going to go here once we layer in our photos. So let's pretend that we're layering in our photos. We're going to use this side of the circle as kind of a bit of a mat for our photo. Again, anytime I have lines, I just like to decide which way I want to use them. So then I'm going to connect this circle and this circle with this photo. Again, I like margins that are nice and even, so I like my photos to kind of line up. And then you can do a couple different things here. I definitely want it to touch one of the circles. So I'm going to make sure that it touches up top here, but you could move this circle so that it is also touching this photo. You could do something like that. Okay, and then this last little punch circle is just going to come over top. So again, we've created that connection between everything, and it's just such an easy way to make sure that your viewer's eye goes all the way around the page. It's going to take in all the photos. It's going to take in your title. It's going to take in any other kind of little embellishments that you have. Now you can also kind of think about the circles as homes for your embellishments. So again, I kind of centered a little embellishment here with a vine that almost kind of points to this photo. I centered another embellishment up here with another vine that sort of points over here. So you can think of these circles as homes for little embellishments. They could also be spots for journaling. Okay, so again, this this larger circle here with the lighter blue, that would be a perfect spot to do your journaling. Okay, so that's the other one. Again, circle decorations, circle embellishments. The other thing that I've added on to to the finished layouts are the little enamel dots, because they're circles as well, right? So again, just kind of putting them at almost like the little intersections where the, let me put that one on top, kind of where the two circles would join. So almost like little punctuation marks, wherever some of the circles would join together. Okay, so I hope that those are both layouts that you could see yourself using. Either a lot of circles kind of all over the page and creating that sense of movement, or a couple of spots where you've got circles and then your regular rectangular and square photos that can kind of punctuate your circles. Okay, so again, there's definitely more than 5. I've got 5 different sizes. We had, 8, 6, 7, 4.5, 4, 3, and 1.25. Here we had 8, 4.5, 3, 1.25. Oh, you know what? I only have 4 sizes on that one. So maybe I'd count. I'll cheat for myself and I'll count those 2, those little tiny dots. But yeah, maybe I would make this one, maybe slightly bigger or smaller. Use one of my other tools, for example. So when you're doing it, 5 circles, 5 different sizes. Okay, that's the challenge. You can definitely copy either of these if you like. Come up with your own, whatever you want to do. And we can't wait to see what you share, right? So many great ideas were shared last week, and we can't wait to see what you guys come up with for your 5 circle challenge this week. Okay? All right, so again, I'm just looking at my list here. I always like to try and double check that I haven't missed anything. So prizes, your choice of the circle cutter and mat bundle, or the circle punch and the circle lattice recipe template. Okay, so those are your prize choices. The Screamin' Fast and Fun deal is the circle cutter and the 13 by 13 inch cutting mat. And I did see a question, I think earlier, tell me they're not going away. For any of these Screamin' deals, we do sort of set aside a certain number at the limited, at the special price. So there are a limited number that are sort of set aside for this. And then, of course, we will continue to sell the circle cutter, until it's no longer useful, or until it sells out, and we'll have to make a decision whether to bring it back or not. So just like the envelope cutter, or the envelope and bow creator, it's something that we bring out. We've already done one bring back of that. Once that's gone, we may not bring it back again, or it may not come back for until down the road. So we're always changing what we offer. So again, if it's something that you want, it's always good to not wait, because CM regret is real. I tell you, there's been things in the past that I've, forgotten to stock up on, and then they've sold through, and I'm like, oh, that's too bad, shucks. So CM regret is real. Make sure you grab the items that you want when you want them. If you see them on a Screamin' deal, grab them if you've been thinking about them. Okay? All right, so you have until next Tuesday. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure it's the right time. Tuesday, August 1st, 11:59 p.m. Central Time. That's when you have to get your Sizzlin Summer 4 challenge completed and posted by, okay, to be eligible for the prize. And of course, if you don't have a chance to get it done, you can continue to, do any or all of the challenges throughout the summer, so that you can count them for your grand prize drawing, but they just wouldn't count for that particular week's challenge. You wouldn't be eligible if you posted it afterwards. Okay, but they're all so much fun. I hope you give them all a try. All right, I think that's everything. 5 circles, various sizes. You can use whatever you want to make the circles. If you've got the circle cutter, great. If you've got the punch, if you have other punches, great. Maybe you have some of the old CM punches or shape makers. Your custom cutting system, The circle lattice recipe template will give you some different circles. You can trace different things from around your house, right? So anything you need to do to draw or cut circles, do it. All right. And again, any theme, any papers, any photos that you are currently working with would be great to use for this challenge. All right. So I think that's it for me. Grab your deals before Friday at noon. And again, don't forget to check the deals section of the website because Welcome Home is there along with lots of other goodies. So don't forget that. And that may help you earn your You Pick It bundle, which of course goes until Friday at noon as well. Okay? All right. I think that's everything. I always worry that I'm forgetting something, but I think it's everything. And I can't wait to see you next Wednesday. We will have, of course, our Sizzlin Summer 5 challenge. What will it be? What will it be? You'll never get it out of me. It'll be a secret until next Wednesday. So make sure you join me to see who this week's winners are and what we have in store for you next week. All right? Thanks everybody for joining me. Can't wait to see what you come up with, and we'll see you next